Yo. It's your boy Montoya's in the house. I got my boy Hard Rock in this building. And he's finna tell y'all how he got started with hip-hop. So, go ahead, dog. The mic is on you. Go ahead.
Well, coming up in 5th Ward, Houston, Texas, the only rappers that really just came to my head young was the Ghetto Boys, because they represented where I was from. So everywhere I turned on the side of, I would see a 5th Ward, and I would see Rap A Lot Records, and I'd see the Ghetto Boys. We can't be stopped until death do us part. A lot of the rap before that, it really didn't catch my eye or my ear because of the type of beats, the boom bap coming from the New York, and the revolutionary rap coming from New York, the Public Enemy, the Rakim. And it really didn't touch my ear because that wasn't from, my environment. So, I needed something a little bit more slow, a little bit more bass, a little bit more twang to it. And all we really had was, the Ghetto Boys, K Reno, the faculties, things like that. And my dad used to do the Stop the Violence rallies, and them artists, the Odd Squad, they used to always, okay.
Yo, there you go.
And then, I'm sorry about that, but what I was looking for more so was some music that would bring forth the New York boom bap and the conscious rap in New York, and it would mix with the twang of the South. And around that time, I was about 12 years old. I got shipped off to military school, and I was in the midst with a bunch of Caucasians, a bunch of my friends, a bunch of different type of people, different nationalities and stuff. And there was one black dude named Roger Sam, man, and he brought a CD to me, and it said THUG Life. And then his next CD, it said, Tupacalypse Now. And then he couldn't wait till a certain CD dropped in 95, All Eyes on Me. It was a double disc song. And I mean, this boy played the CD non-stop. Roger Sam, the only other black kid out there, my age. And so, Roger Sam's from New York. He went home, and he got killed in a robbery in a Washington area. And the only thing he left in the room was these CDs, these Tupac CDs. And so, and when I heard, Tupac rhyming, and I could hear the evolution of Southern rap mixed with New York boom bap, mixed with G-Funk, like it was just unbelievable. And so, especially coming off of Me Against the World, which had Dear Mama, which was songs that my dad had liked. My dad was a pro-black man, educated black man that didn't allow me to listen to profanity also. But he would let me listen to Tupac because of how profound and how prestigious this man spoke. Not knowing this kid was in his early 20s. But anyway, when Roger Sam died, he left these CDs, and I always remember it was one song on that CD that made me fall in love with hip-hop, and ever since then I was on. It started off, brum, 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 brum. How many brothers fell victim to the street? Rest in peace, young nigga. Is that happened for a G? Be a lie if I told you that I never thought of death. My nigga, we the last ones left, but life goes on.
No.
And so I used to write them lyrics over and over and over because it reminded me of Roger Sam. And so when I finally came home from military school, I started listening to my old Ghetto Boys CDs and all that. And then, I went to Worthing High, and I got influenced by Screw.
Yeah. And so out the gate, you Tupac alumni.
A Tupac alumni.
Right out the gate.
All the way.
All right. So keep on going, man. What you had to say?
So what I was looking for in the artist was always what Tupac brought, which wasn't too much New York, wasn't too much West Coast, wasn't too Southern, but always, how can I say it, diverse when they made their music. More so a Lauryn Hill, a Tupac, where they brought the whole world, in their music, and you can understand, you can hear the education, but you can also hear it on player beats, and you can also hear the education and the knowledge, from the East Coast, but you hear it on the player beats of the South, but you hear it with the aggression from the West Coast, the gang associated, neighborhoods. And so when I got to Worthing, right in the middle of Sunnyside around 95, 96, I was really influenced by the Screwed Up Clique, because that's what was around me. That's who went to school with me, And what I really cut for them is that, DJ Screw only liked music that started off like that Pac song. Burn, 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 burn. How many niggas fell victim to the streets? Like, you had to be saying something. You couldn't be too lyrical. You couldn't be too flamboyant and whack. You had to be a heartfelt artist in order to get on a DJ Screw tape.
All right. So I got a question for you, dog. The first time you heard rap, what was that song when you first heard rap that was like, I like that shit? What was the first song?
Jesse James by Scarface. When I heard, when I heard Jesse James, when I heard him just going off, that was the first time, like, look, man, we can do it too. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm finna play it under this while we're talking, so you know.
Yeah, when I was like, man, we can do it too. It was on the Jason Lyric soundtrack. Mm-hmm. And watching Jason Lyric, that's coming up in Houston. So it was really like, man, yeah, we doing it too. We got Scarface. You got Tupac. You got Biggie. You got Rakim. We got Scarface. And what? We got Pimp C. When I heard at the end of Menace to Society, when I saw Kane in the kitchen, and then I heard I got a pocket full of stones, I was like, I could not believe that our music was touching worldwide. And at that point, I could see that we were going worldwide. All right.
So I got a trivial, might be personal question for you. Yeah. Everybody know that song that they was listening to when they first got laid. Yeah. So what was the song that was hot when you was first getting laid? What's that?
Let me see. Back then, man, R&B was big out there, man, back then at that time. But I'd have to say, man, I'm Tupac alumni, so it wasn't like I wasn't letting girls slide, man. It was you can run the streets with your thugs. Uh-huh. I'll be waiting for you until you get through. I'll be waiting. Yeah. I think, at that time, the military school real close to Mexico, we used to climb over the border. At 12 years old, I used to go across the border, and I'm the only black dude out there. They used to call me Negro, dark-skinned black dude. And we was at a church dance. It was back when we used to dance, and I remember, chick was looking at me, and I was listening to her music. Her music was so whack. I was like, I got this Pac tape right here, because we used to record it. And that one song, I'll be waiting, and I used to keep rewinding, and the irony about that is that, I got laid, off of that song, 12 years old. Yeah.
Well, nigga, 12 years old is way earlier than I did. Yeah, Square business. But just to interject my shit in there, Mystical had got hot when I got laid. That was what was the song?
There they go.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
Come around with a steady flow.
Now they ready though. Oh, there they go. Yeah. So yeah, that's what that's when I got laid. That was my first thing. But before it happened, it was the Art Squad. That was Devin the Dude's group. And it was fucking over yo for sure, pussy, trying to get some more pussy. And so I hadn't had no pussy by then, but I kind of knew the game by the time I got some. So that helped out. But anyway, man, I just wanted to get you in here to give me your perspective on hip hop, because that's the study that I'm doing right now on this show, the mind frame and whatnot. And I know a million people are gonna hear this and they're gonna be like, yeah, I remember I was doing such and such and so. And so I just want to get you in here because you always got something to say about it.
Tupac all the way.
Hey, well, there it is. And
Heroes under God.
there it is. There it is. Now, I don't know if you know this because we hadn't talked about Pac one-on-one. I ain't so much a Pac guy. Not after Death Row. Before Death Row, I was a Pac guy. And so
Pac was probably more better before Suge Knight.
okay, hold on. Now, see, now we took a pivot into a whole nother thing. So, give me your whole spiel on Pac real fast.
Well, Pac sonically wise, and the better producers came along to Pac after Death Row, meaning the Dr. Dre's and the Daz Dillingers, the Johnny P's, and then he was getting a crazy amount of features, and he was getting anything he wanted in the studio. But his more lyrical music and his more messages and his lessons where he was kicking was more on a Me Against the World record. And, I think I read something where Digital Underground, Shock G said, I don't even recognize the guy on Machiavelli. He didn't even recognize who Pac was because of the anger that had been invoked in the young man at that time. I'm years younger than Pac, but right now, I'm 10 years older than when Pac died, and I can definitely hear the difference between Pac singing to his mother and singing to his girl about "Can you get away" and things like that, to when he's singing "Remember What My Pops Told Me" and "Hail Mary," because it's a lot of revengeful messages sitting there. He's hurting on those records. And then, of course, the difference between Tupac's Me Against the World and All Eyes on Me is the difference between T.I.'s trap music and urban legend.
Okay, I gotta jump in. That made more sense to me than anybody has ever made it, because I never correlated Pac to any other rapper, honestly, because I always felt like people put Pac on a pedestal because he died on the top. And it's like, you can't discount what he did because he done died. So anybody ever tried to correlate his legacy to anybody else's didn't make sense to me.
Right.
But I damn sure was a T.I. fan.
Right.
And the way you just put that made sense to me.
Yeah.
Made sense to me. And I never even thought about Pac and T.I. You ask a layman or anybody that don't give a fuck, it don't even make sense to even compare the two, except that the trajectory of both of their careers was very identical.
Yeah, correct.
Up to this point. And I never thought about that, man. That's pretty damn introspective the way you brought that up, man. So go ahead and talk more on that. Go ahead.
Well, what you had on T.I.'s not his first record, but his second one, which is trap music, the one where he had to go back to the basement.
Money, hoes,
exactly.
Yeah,
that's how all my partners roll. He said, "I know you're tired of the nightlife. You got a man. You just looking for the right type. Yeah, right. I be right behind." And then the Rubber Band Man. He had the great producers at that time, but he was more so breaking the great producers. Right. The David Banners and the Kanye West, then the Jazzy Face, they was on that record, but they weren't huge famous at that time. So they was giving him, he was more introspective on every song, and every song was well written. And it was like, man, this song is going to be a classic. It's going to be a Reasonable Doubt. Yeah. It's going to be a classic record. Just like Pac's Me Against the World. Yeah. It was a classic written. It wasn't the most best beats. Didn't nobody just hand him a California Love or just hand him Lil' Kim on the song, Get Loose. No More Grey Goose. Baby, have me get loose. Yeah. Or just hand him It's a Hard Knock Life for Us with Jay-Z. These songs on these albums, on this Reasonable Doubt, on this trap music, on this Me Against the World, these songs were written more so from a point of view of an artist like, I want to tell my story. Yes. I want to explain who I am as a man. Yes. I'm going through something. Yes. And these bigger records, Hard Knock Life Volume 2, Volume La Familia, Urban Legends, these All Eyes on Me. They had the Dr. Dre's on it, the Daz Dillingers, the $1 million studio budgets, the $1 billion video budgets, the Roger Troutmans, the Timberlands, the Jazzy Fays, the big Jazzy Fays now, the Manny Freshes, and all these, the Lil Waynes, and all these, you know, Redman, Method Man, and you know these people that were on these bigger records, the Foxy Browns, that wasn't on the first albums, you know, because this is where they were explaining who they are as an artist, you know, before the money came. You know, technically, sonically, you really, you know, can't beat these bigger albums because they're made in $1 million studios. You know, if I got Quincy Jones and Dr. Dre and Timberland and Pharrell and, you know, all these people at my disposal, of course I'm going to make a great sonic album, you know, a musical album. But as far as the lyricists of the artist controlling the album, you know, before Death Row, Pac was a more in control of his album. Yes. He tried to come back to it in Machiavelli. He tried to come back, but he went already just, you know, he dove into that thug life too much, that gangster shit. He wasn't thugging no more. He turned to that gangster shit at that time. Yeah.
I agree with everything you just said. All that made sense to me. Yeah. All right, but we finna close this thing out. Now, what I want to know, the very first time you heard a rap song, you was like, I like that. What was that? What was that? Go for it.
I sit alone in this four-cornered room staring at candles. You hear that?
Yeah. That's
Scarface. I can't sleep. I toss and turn. I mean, that beat, Debo did that beat. D-Lo did that beat coming out of Houston. You know, I had a chance to meet him. But Scarface, Willie D, Bushwick Bill, Ghetto Boys. I mean, that song is the catchiest song with no hook. Yep. No hook, and it's still catchy, and you know every word. And
to this day, that stands. Yep. That stands. I don't care what kind of rap fan you are, you know that shit when you hear it. Yep. And there it is. So, this just me in closing, y'all. It's your boy Montoya, man. Had my boy Hard Rock in the building. And I just want to delve into some hip-hop shit for y'all, because I know the shit I listen